I was actually born in Port Alberni, so I'm in my home area. I actually left my home reserve in 1957 to take a nursing course in Vancouver, and I was there for like 18 months or so, and I found that there was really nothing for. There were no services for Aboriginal people in Vancouver at the time, and so anyway, I went through my nursing course and completed it, and then it wasn't until after I completed my course that I learned that there was an organization called the Coquelitza Fellowship, which was the first social service agency in Vancouver. And so I joined their group at that time and started working with them, and became their president at some point. While I was a member of that organization, we talked about the future of our people that were coming into Vancouver, and really trying to determine what was needed most in the city, because people were we had opened a referral center on Hastings and Richards, and so we had Aboriginal people coming into our office, and they were coming in for different needs and needed different services, and so we were referring them to the agencies in the city, and so we were trying to determine what the next step for Coquelitza Fellowship was, and we were trying to figure out what was most needed. Was it an Indian center? Was it a residence for the students that were coming into the city? Or did we need a facility for those that were coming into the city for health needs, and their families were coming in with them, and they had they basically were living in hotels. And so in our discussion and in our own analysis, we decided that an Indian center would best serve the needs of our people, because it would provide a number of services and not just focused in one area. And so when we identified what we wanted the most, is that was when we started to really look at establishing an Indian center. And so we began to talk to people in the community, and spoke to principals. We spoke to a number of professional people in different areas, and trying to get their support and making them understand what our needs were and what the purpose of an Indian center would be. And so it wasn't until deaths began to happen in the Vancouver East Side that the city of Vancouver actually realized that a service or a center was needed in Vancouver. And so at that time we got some support from the mayor, and he established an ad hoc committee. So there were 6 of us that were appointed to the ad hoc committee to look into the establishment of an Indian center. And so we worked on that for a year, and then in 1963 we found a house that served as our first friendship center, and so that's how I got started in the Friendship Center movement. Was basically my own personal need to have a place to go when I was in a strange city, not knowing anyone, not having family, and no support system. And so I felt very passionate that this is something that was needed in Vancouver, and I worked diligently to make sure that it happened. And so when we opened our center in 1963, I think that was the highlight of the work that I started. and you know, from there it's just been a growing movement to where now we have 25 friendship centres in BC and over about 120 in all of Canada. And so the, you know, the work of the friendship centres and the growth of the movement has, I think, truly indicated that we were on the right track when we said that this was needed for our people as they came into the city. There are individual friendship centres that have been around longer than 40 years, and I think that you know, one of my observations over these 40 years has been the people that it helped to develop. You know, that as I look at our Aboriginal leaders today, and I can truly say and identify that many of them got their start in their leadership abilities through the Friendship Centre movement, and that and I never want them to forget that. You know, that they need to give credit to the Friendship Centre movement for their own personal development, and how the centre was able to help them to identify their leadership abilities or to make them the leaders they are today. And I think that you know, that has always been something that I've been very impressed with, that you know, we've been able to see our people get into leadership roles as well. I think I strongly believe that the Friendship Centres has encouraged many of our people to attain a higher education level in order to get into a workforce that is going to be you know, meaningful for them in the future. And you know, as I see individuals getting degrees in all the different levels of careers, it makes me feel like, you know, that we've made a real difference in the lives of those people. Because I reflect back to my own time when I was a young girl. I'm a product of the residential school, and I had no role models. You know, I had nobody that I could look to and say, oh, you know, so and so is a lawyer, and I would just love to be a lawyer, or look at somebody and say, I'd love to be a doctor. Or, you know, and there's nobody there to really guide me in any kind of a career path. And I think Friendship Centres has given a lot of our young people the opportunity to show them that there are so many you know, career opportunities for them, and that they can attain a goal if they really work towards it. And so I think that my vision, you know, for the future is always that through through the work of the Friendship Centres, that our people and our young people are going to, well, I say that they are going to be the leaders, and that they are going to lead us into a different, 40 years from now, we're going to be at a totally different stage of our life, because we're going to have more people who are educated, and you know, we have to remember in the 40 years we've been in existence that we've been unknowingly on a healing path for healing journey for all of those years, you know, because of the impacts of the residential school. And it's only a few years ago that we really identified that the residential school has had really serious impacts on our lives, and that we are still today, you know, dealing with those impacts and really identifying that we need to be on this healing journey in order to get over issues that we've carried, our people have carried for so many years, and 40 years from now, our people won't have that same kind of issues to deal with. And what the friendship centers will be for like 40 years from now, I'm not really too sure. I hope that maybe there'll be an educational institute, rather than social service kind of an institute. And so I really feel that we've dealt with a lot of issues over over the 40 years that as the association has been around, and certainly the BC Association has, I think, really helped to develop our friendship centers as individual centers, and to really help to develop the staff people that are working in those centers. And so, so for me, it's like I've seen a lot of changes in the movement, because like I've been in it from the start, and sometimes I wonder what have we really done, but I'm of the opinion that we're always going to be having to deal with our issues, just because we're on this healing path. And until we can say that we've now developed healthy communities, then the role of the centers may begin to change a little bit. Now that I'm retired and I've seen this movement over a long period of time, I think that a friendship center has meant a great deal to those of us who have, or those who have needed the services of the centers, and has helped to develop many people. And I have met many individuals at the Vancouver Indian Centre, for example, where I was once the executive director, whom I knew 30 or 40 years ago when I was a staff member there, and have come up to me and said, I've been sober now for 25 or 30 years, and it's because the Friendship Centre was there to help me, and that you were never judgmental towards my issues, and that has made a big difference in my life.